Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross.
I'm Richie.
And today we're looking over our battle report. We're going to look at the breakdown of it. This is for our Chaos versus Chaos one. So we're going to look in a bit more detail, go by turns, how we sort of went. Obviously key characters that worked out really, really well.
Yeah.
So in terms of, we'll go with the sort of turn by turn basis of this one, and then we'll talk about characters. There's so many characters, things I've got to talk about. Turn one, I got the first turn.
You did get first turn.
Shooting was abysmal.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. I could see your heart breaking a little bit, but that was way below average. I think that was cruelly unfair, that first round of shooting.
Yeah, I think the Helldrink did come in and shut you down, which I think was quite important. But the shooting, not being able to really do enough damage, really hurt. And then I did move the Khorne Berserkers in, which, I moved them in and got really good. I was like, cool, I'm all around there. You'll have to come towards me. And then we're going to your turn, and towards me you did come.
Yeah, we gave it a go.
Oh, and I mean, you basically wrecked one of the rhinos, no problem. You surrounded it, so you killed the Khorne Berserkers. I think
3 managed to escape out the back. I couldn't quite completely envelope it.
Yeah, 3 got out the back, and 1 died in the explosion. And then 6 died because they just couldn't get out. They just died in the burning inferno.
Yeah.
They were like, can't get out here. There's plague bearers. There's a guy with a hammer. There's 2 guys on a bike and a hammer. Can't get out. They just burned to death, which was pretty good. The hammer's coming in and being able to Red Corsairs advance, and with a bike you get 6 automatically, and then you just hammered in.
Yeah, it's something
that was
about
a
the
shock
movement.
to me. I did not see that coming.
The deployment zones that we had in this, long end to long end, I think really favours it as well. I think if you were the opposite way around, the short sides of the board playing across, that you lose out on a bit, but when you've only got 24 inches apart from people and you're advancing 20 inches, then that leaves you with a pretty short charge, which is quite good. I'm not sure how to use those to the best of their advantage yet. I probably didn't need to tuck both of them in between the rhinos, because obviously once the rhino went down, you pulled your other rhino out of it. They were kind of very exposed. Yeah. So a little bit of work on using them properly. Yeah. But it's nice to have a Smash Captain equivalent now. Just something that's going into combat and just going horsing loads of damage. Boom. It's nice for us to have again.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more on that one. Turn 2, I think, was a very big turning point for me. So that's when my second lot of Khorne Berserkers came out. Decided to keep the Warp Talons in Deep Strike, which is what you recommended. I think that was a good shout overall. I think I became more aggressive Defiler, but it was a waste. I rolled like a 1 for advance.
Yeah, that was a shame, but a better advance and he'd have probably ripped right into combat as well. I think it was just obscenely long to risk worth of taking the overcharge with him.
Yeah. Other areas, I think my shooting was far better. My shooting phase in that one was spectacularly good. I did okay in combat, but your minuses to hit were vastly stopping the flawless host. Massively.
Yeah, the army's built quite heavily around that, the -1 to hitting modifiers and stuff like that, and 2 potentially with getting the spell off and being over 20 still like that. So that's great. That's really, really powerful. And it's a sticking point. I mean, I think it held Terminators up for 3-4 rounds nearly.
So long. So I think we went on to turn 3. Turn 3, if I remember, was quite a grind. That was when things began to sort of grind a wee bit. I couldn't break. Terminators and the Playbearers, didn't think they achieved much. They failed to really hit each other. I think I started killing a few characters. I think in the second turn I killed the
2 Bike Lords went in one go.
Which was painful.
Yeah, hard to lose when there were still targets for them about. One of them could have went for the Defiler, one of them could have chased up for the Predator. But that's what happens when you leave them exposed. When you kill the thing that you're trying to kill, I think you need to have them better protected, and that's something I'll need to work on going forward. Just positioning right to make sure that they're not exposed to too much that can damage them. One thing maybe they could take on, but multiple threats, I think they're goners at that point.
After sort of that, we then sort of moved into the Endgame, which was turn 4 and 5, and I think that's when you began whittling down quite a wee bit. the sort of my range began. You know, I was sitting there with bolter drill, huge advantage for Chaos Space Marines.
Yeah, I mean that's a great rule. I mean it's
Great
turned mediocre things into pretty good things now actually,
Yeah.
which is pretty fantastic.
I think that began to will you down pretty difficultly. The Predator was beginning to do a wee bit of damage. It wasn't doing excellent, but it was doing okay. And then my Demon Prince began smacking a few things around. The Khorne Berserkers, even though they were down to 7 and then 5 man, they were running
even
about
at 3, the amount of damage that those guys can put out, especially with the Flawless Host. So the 6 is generating more attacks, 3 suddenly turns into a unit of 6 effectively on the tabletop. They're really good. That works really well with Khorne Berserkers.
Wholeheartedly agree. If I had chain axes on them, now they're armed with bolt pistol and like chain axe and chain sword, I really wish, you know, maybe redo them so they're chain sword and chain axe because it's the best way to optimise them. Project for the future, we'll get around to them, or we'll wait and see what the future holds. Don't want to speculate, but it really became now I was beginning to put more damage onto you than you could endure. Your buffs were beginning to go down. I got a little bit, you know, overzealous when I put in the Demon Prince to take out the Sloppy Bill Piper, and I should have really just killed one.
Kill one. The other one wasn't much of a threat, and if it was me, I'd have killed the Poxbringer, not Sloppity. But you know what? You did a lot of damage to 2 of them, which were then mopped up pretty quickly because the damage was done from the other guys. The
danger of Sloppity though was if you suffered morale and I did a heavy amount of damage. If you rolled that 1 and you got 2d6 to do for you, you never did it once. If you got that 1,
yeah, so I've used them a couple of times recently and I've been able to pull it off, which is great. In that time it didn't work, but I think for the points investment for him, it's a really handy thing, and it's the difference between unit getting totally annihilated because you've taken heavy losses and actually unit ending up better off than it would have been at the end of the turn if it just rolled a 1 on morale and passed it. So that's pretty good. Certainly something I think I'll look at in my list a bit more. I liked it, even though it didn't necessarily come through for me today.
But I think the potential is definitely there. So what I'd say in this battle report is the most important phase for me was certainly I think the movement phase for both of us. Psychic coming good, shooting and fighting, we sort of got standstills and better. But the movement, just being able to count, that's been one of the battle reports I've not done in a while where movement was so essential. We had to think what was targeting who and making sure we're maximising it. I think we showed that quite well there. I think so. Let's speak about the Legion traits because that's important to cover here. Flawless Host, loved it. Amazing with Khorne Berserkers. You did mitigate horrendous amounts.
Yeah, if I'd went pure Chaos Space Marines that maybe wasn't Alpha Legion with their -1 and stuff like that for some shooting, but it's mainly combat, isn't it?
Combat, so
so actually the Alpha Legion means nothing.
Worked.
So I think the only thing, there's probably a few things, but I had the only thing that would negate that. So against almost everything else, that thing's just incredible. I'm going to go home and look at it an awful lot more now and see if I can make it work for me.
Well, the Demon Prince with the Warlord trait that allows, instead of it being 1 attack you get per 1, it becomes 3 per 6 you get. Is really good if you're rocking like 70 attacks. Now you go Flawless Host, then you make it a Mark of Sinesh, you take the Intoxicating Elixir, you go cool, I'm rocking 8 attacks. Might get 2 6s, but that's potentially 6 extra attacks.
What really becomes scary with that though is when you start playing Imperials.
Yes, and when you add Death to the False Emperor on there as well. I think with the Warlord trait only works with that one. So you only add 3 for the like their Perfection, their Legion rule.
Okay.
So I don't think it goes to the Death to the False Emperor as well. I need to check, but I think it's only 4 that I think it specifically mentions as.
Okay, I'm with you.
So you would still potentially be 4 attacks against Imperiums per 6 you roll. So if you get 2 6s, that's 8 extra attacks for.
Cool.
On a Demon Prince, especially taking the Elixir, rocking.
No, that's a very, very. And I don't think many people have looked at it and went, that's incredible. I think it's one of those ones you need to see to be believed, because when you're relying on 6s, you sometimes get carried away with how unimportant that can be. Turns out 6s, like when you're rolling that many dice, you generate a lot of them, and then pow, you're generating more.
1 adds a good deal, 2 is great, and 3 are just going, this is awesome. If you added on prescience, it'd be 5s to activate.
Yeah, that was something.
Which I don't know you'd put on a Demon Prince, but if you're going to activate to get potentially...
Your army was a little bit light on Psychers.
Oh yeah,
and I think potentially a little bit more of a combo with a few more spell chuckers.
Yeah.
In and amongst all that to just really start hitting them every turn with something great like that, whether it's prescience or what have you. I think that becomes massively powerful. I'd like to explore that a bit more.
Prescience on things like Havocs is going to be scary as well. On Flawless Host, if Tame and Con Berserkers, you get a big 10-man squad, all optimised to get a maximum amount of attacks, add on Prescience, and then add a Death to False Emperor activates and fight.
Yeah, I think
crazy.
Prescience, neither of us took them, but the new Havocs with effectively the old Relentless rule, without taking the -1 to hit, with then Prescience as well. Like chain guns hitting on 2s.
Yeah. Hit on 2s, going to stick a Chaos Lord nearby. Activate, we didn't use it so much. Endless Cacophony, I think it works out to be a stupid amount of attacks. 32 times 264, adds in another 32, 96, something like that. Give or take, it's stupid with some of them if you activate vets, if you're not renegades. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a really good combination. But let's focus a bit more on the forces. Now your models you do a lot of converting and a lot of mess about them. Those bikes were cool as heck, man. I love the one jumping out, that was awesome. I thought that was really cool. And I loved your Chainlord guy. It was a mixture between sort of Raptor, it was really good Chaos base. And then you had like the wings, which I presume were from Blood Angels.
Yeah, the Sanguinary Guard wings. I've got them on my Librarian as well. I had them just sitting about. I think it was because I did the Librarian first, put the wings on him because he had that Mark IV style jump pack, and went, oh okay, Warp Talons, they have the extra fins kicking on. I'm not overly that keen on that. I'd just painted an awful lot of them for you guys, so I thought something else. So I had a rummage through my bits box, found some of them. I thought, I don't know, I could probably make that work for me. I think he looks alright.
I think he looks awesome. Any other parts of the sort of things you thought were probably tactically important within that one?
I made the decision to spend some command points, spend a command point to try and keep my Chainlord alive.
Yes, I remember.
And that took me down below the threshold to be able to, they came from the Maelstrom, I think it's called.
Which is, you can recycle Chaos Space Marine.
Yeah, so that's 3 command points. You get to bring the whole unit back 9 inches from the enemy, 6 inches within the board edge, but at full strength.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big. So it's kind of when you use it, do you push the button and move them straight away?
Yeah.
And just go 20 to 20? Do you try and see how many whittle down? Go, okay, there's 3 left now, bring them back. So there's a lot to it. In the end, I eliminated that decision by trying to keep Chainlord alive because he's a lord and
he's a bro.
I was trying to do the right thing by the gods, and nobody really cares about Space Marines when Lords of Chaos are vulnerable.
And they just killed 2 demon engines, you know.
And he just killed 2 demon engines, so I thought he could probably do with like a little pat on the shoulder, and if that was a command point spent on him, then so be it. It didn't work, it kept him alive for what, like another half a round of combat?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I came in there with
but I think that was command points well spent in the end.
Yeah.
Maybe cost me the game, maybe it didn't. I still think it was the right thing to do.
It was certainly fun to see.
It wasn't the right thing to do.
I don't think it was either. Well, thanks again for watching. As always, we like to comment, share, like and subscribe. Let us know what you thought. Certainly love getting feedback. So obviously it helps our gameplay, but also great to see what people think in these games as well.
Yeah, especially with your feedback on the new Chaos stuff, because there's so many options, there's so much of it. It's really easy to get lost in it. I think we were both kind of starting to get to grips with some of the stuff, but I think a lot of stuff maybe went over our heads or forgotten about because it's so new. So if you've got any ideas, any ways of using little combos and stuff like that, please let us know, because anybody else's eyes on it is probably better than just our eyes on it as well.
Absolutely. Check us out on social media as well. You can check out Rich on Renegade Paintworks. We should have a link
somewhere, yeah.
And you can see the projects that he's working on. There might be some for us as well because we do some projects. He does a lot of our projects, if I haven't mentioned that already. And yeah, and check us out on Patreon to help support the channel so we can bring you more stuff because we absolutely love doing so. So thanks again, and we'll see you on our Tabletop Assault Battle Report.